I'll see if I can find it for you right quick. If you don't believe me,
Is it the ones that got Texas Tech?
I don't know. What the heck is all this? This ain't my page. That was all debate stuff. I was kind of. Y'all ever seen the clip of Donald Trump beating up Vince McMahon on WWE? He did. There it is, right there. No, somebody will complain. I have to keep it. I have to keep it related to the election, or somebody will complain.
It is related. He's running, and he didn't even elect.
No, but that's WWE is not. God, what did I do with it? I put a lot of stuff up. Oh. Yes, sir.
Did you see that video where Bill O'Reilly took that reporter to the college campus in New Hampshire? And
Yeah, that's Water's World. He comes on at night, at Sunday night. But yeah,
he asked about Bernie and wanted Bernie.
and they had no idea who they were voting for. They didn't even know what he'd done before he. What did he do before he ran for president? I don't know. It's sad, and I get irritated when not just this class, but my other classes. I'll say, "Who watched the debate?" Mm-hmm. That's why people get elected that don't know how to run the country.
We're here on our home campus at Texas Tech to see just how much our fellow students know about their country.
And this is like doing a survey.
When the Civil War,
Sweden? The South?
Like the one in 1965, or what Civil War?
Who won it? Who was even in it? Who was in it? Just tell me who was in it.
Oh, I don't know.
Why do you think
Who won the Civil War?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Hey, I'm trying to believe it for this thing. I feel like I'm on the Jimmy Kimmel show.
America? I don't know.
That's the Confederates, right? I have no clue.
The Union. The North. Yes. Okay.
Who is the vice president? Is that like a trick question? Okay. I don't know.
I have no idea. Right now? I don't know. What's his name? Oh my gosh. I have his name in my United States in my head.
I have no idea. I have no idea. Oh no.
Joe Biden. Yes. Okay, who did we gain our independence from?
These are foreign laws.
I have no idea. Do you know what year we happened? Absolutely not.
I couldn't tell you.
It's like 1677 or something. What show is Snooki on? Jersey Shore.
The Jersey Shore.
Jersey Shore.
Jersey Shore. Jersey Shore.
Jersey Shore.
Who is Brad Pitt married to?
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie. And who was he married to before that?
I think it was Jennifer Aniston. Jennifer Aniston? Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston. Awesome. Thank you.
So I ranted about this, believe it or not. I'm trying to get out of it. What is one of, somebody tell me what one of the Democratic platforms are in the election? Student what? You know, people going to college. Student, no. Starts with a D. Thank you. Student debt. Boy, y'all have no freaking clue what the presidential election is about, do you? Anyway. Okay, I would like to vent about this. These people actually vote. These people are in college. These people are dumb. And it takes them 3 semesters to pass a crit course. And people wonder why student loans are out of the roof. These people would take 10 years to get a 4-year degree in underwater firefighting. And they can't get a job with a degree in underwater firefighting. Can anyone pick up on my rage? That's why people have student debt. And let me ask you something. What do you think the average SAT scores for these people are? Like 900? Don't you get 800 for putting your name on the thing? These people are probably 900 SATers, and where do you think they're going to school? Do they go to a community college, or do they go to a university? They go to a university where the tuition is what? 5 times as high as a community college? And you think they're going to take a business course, or you think they're going to take business management, or you think they're going to take anything like that? No. They can't even answer a dadgum question on the Vice President of the United States. They're going to take underwater firefighting classes. And guess what happens when they get out of college in underwater firefighting? You can't get a job with underwater firefighting. Some of y'all say, they offer a degree in underwater firefighting? No! Underwater firefighting is a I don't know what you call it, but it's a thing that you say for an easy degree. People go out and get these degrees in sociology or parks and recreation. What's the only thing you can do with parks and recreation? Work in a park or a hotel. Well, the market's flooded because the degree program is so what? It's so easy. I think you have to take like 1 math to get a degree in parks and recreation, and 1 science. I think it's astronomy. And then you can get a degree in parks and recreation. But when you get out in the real world, you get paid $17,000 an hour starting out as a manager of a Holiday Inn or a park manager because it's flooded. They got plenty of people to do it. Oh yeah, and you rack up going to Texas Tech or going to Yale or going to all these other places instead of going to community college. You run up how much student debt? 5 times what you would run up at a community college. And then they say, we want free tuition. We got too much student debt. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is the student debt? The students. Why do you think it's sometimes?
Well, because what I want to do is I got to go to like the PhD, and that's going to be very expensive.
Yeah, but whose decision is that?
That's mine.
But what should you apply for?
What's scholarship? Which I have.
Good.
But yeah, a lot of colleges are doing the same thing.
Yeah, but what's your PhD? What do you want to be a PhD in?
Forensic psychology and behavioral.
Okay. Does that field pay? Yes. So you're going to be able to pay for your student debt. Huh? Yes, but whose decision is that? That's your decision.
That's the college's decision on how much.
Oh, it's yeah, we're really twisting your arm. How many people have twisted your arm and go into that program? Nobody. You. And what should you do as you go to college? It's called work. Yeah. Some people, and I've got a solution for people that want free tuition. It's called the United States Marine Corps, or it's called the United States Army, or it's called the United States Navy, or it's called the United States, what's the other one? Air Force. Free tuition, free room and board. Get yourself hooked up. All right, let's talk about this survey. Let's say that we go out and get y'all's surveys out, and let's say that you do a age group, and that age group comes out to be the following. Let's go with a different set of age groups. Let's go with I don't know what I did before, but 15 to 19, 20 to 24, 25 to 29, 30 to 34, 35 to 39, and 40 to 44. And let's say that while you were doing this survey, you got the following head count. Let's go with 25, 15. Let's go with 5. 20. Let's see, what is it? 65 and 15 and 25. Make sure that's 100. I want to try to make it 100. All right, I want to know the mean and the standard deviation. So let's find it. You want to find the average age of your group. Did anybody add those up? Is that? It's 105. Okay, so I'll knock this last one down to 20. Thank you. Never said I could add. I said I could do math. I never said I could add. Y'all check it, make sure it's 100. And then after this, we're going to find the not the 5 number somewhere. We're going to do another part of the survey and see what we come up with. I don't know why that. Did y'all see that screen blinking? Give y'all about 5 minutes to do that. While I pull up the Excel spreadsheet. Any good movies this weekend? Okay, nobody went to the movies this weekend. Nobody. Okay. What'd you think about it? Good. Make sure you vote. Should make you mad. But it's a good movie though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a good movie.
People are going, what's 13 hours? Yeah. Who first started the interviewing on the sidewalk? Anybody know? Jay Leno. What was it called? Jaywalking. And he'd walk down the LA sidewalks and ask people who the Vice President of the United States was. And that's who started that long time ago. And then he would have champion of the jaywalkers, and there'd be 3 people on the Tonight Show. They'd have a little game show thing, and you'd see who the dumbest person in the United States was, pretty much. Just think if you were the last ranked person of the last ranked high school in the last ranked state of the union, in education, you'd be the dumbest person in the United States. Ain't that something? So if you were 350th out of 350 students at Westside, and Westside was the last ranked school in South Carolina, and South Carolina was the last ranked, you'd be the dumbest person in the United States. Oh well, whatever. Y'all not awake. Alright, 15 to 19, 20 to 24, 25 to 29, 30 to 34, 35 to 39, 40 to 44. $25, $15, $5, $20, $15, and $20. All right, now as I said before, you're not going to be able to calculate 15 to 19. So whenever you have classes that are numerical, you're going to have to separate and find the midpoint. So since Excel cannot do 15 to 19, I'm going to put 15, 19. I'm just going to, for those that want to use Excel and can use Excel, you have to separate them like this. Line 40, 44. And then go over here and find your midpoint, which is X. So equals, parentheses, 15 plus 19 divided by what? Divided by 2. That's right, class. And then what's the class width? 5? Yes, Hubert. Thank you, class. This number plus 5. And copy that down. And there should be your midpoint. Now, with your calculations, these two are your most important columns. I'm not answering questions right now. How did I get what? Right here? That's the midpoint. How do you find the midpoint? You take the highest, the lowest, plus the highest, and divide by what? 2. And then you just add the class width to each one, or you calculate each one. It's up to you. Now, let's go over our handy-dandy formulas for, I'm trying to find my, just hold on a minute. There we go. There we go. Now, our formulas, this piano is halfway right, is the mean is equal to the summation of f times x over n. That's the mean. And the variance is equal to n times the summation of f times x squared minus the summation of f times x quantity squared divided by n times n minus 1. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so how did you get the, if they were filed apart again, like each one of each
Okay, I thought I covered this. Did I not cover class width?
one? You did, but I was just confused.
That's what videos are for. 20 minus 15, 25 minus 20, 30 minus 25, 35 minus 30, 40 minus 35. There's the class width. Or 19 minus 24, 29 minus 24, 34 minus 29, 39 minus 34, 44 minus 39. All those should be a difference of what? The same. It should be 5. So, what do we need to do next? Somebody tell me. By looking at the formulas. You need, here's our first formula we're going to use. What do we need to do? That's not rhetorical. I'm asking y'all to answer the question. I'm sorry, what? Okay, I didn't understand any of that. What'd you say?
25 in for F, 13 in for F.
So multiply F times X. That's what we need to do. Multiply F times X. So you have another column here. And that's called F times what? F times X. Now, a lot of you are saying he's being a smart aleck. No, I'm trying to get you to read the what? The formula. Read the formula. It's telling you what to do. It's nothing magical. So F times X is equal to 25 times 17. And then copy those down. Now I'm going to take my handy dandy highlighter and we'll color it aqua. And I'm going to color this right here aqua. And then I'm going to go over to my handy dandy highlighter over here and we're going to color this aqua. Well, the best I can do. How about that? Let me just do this over here. Change this. Trying to help y'all out by doing this. Well, that ain't gonna work either. I'll just do this. There. There's blue. Now that right there is this blue column right here. Now I'm going to take my handy dandy highlighter. This thing is not working like it usually does. Let's go with the magenta. And I'm going to highlight this guy. And that means what? What are we going to do now? We're going to add those up. Darn, I don't even have a magenta on this one. I'll have to make one. There we go. And summation. Those numbers. And there is your numerator. That is your numerator, which represents all of this magenta. So X bar is equal to 29, 25 divided by what? N. And what is N? I'm sorry, what? Your summation of what? It's not the summation of your midpoints, because that makes no sense. So it's the summation of what? Of F, Hubert. That's right, class. The summation of F. And that's 100. Do you need a calculator for that? Please don't use a calculator for that, because that's just putting a sign around your neck. It says I ain't got sense enough to know that 2 zeros dividing by 2 zeros, I moved the decimal place 2 places to the what? To the right. 29.25. Now this monitor's in my face up here, so I don't know if you were using a calculator or not. So please don't stand up and say, you're talking about me, I was using a calculator. One of those times you need to keep your mouth shut. 29.25. So that's our what? That's our mean. I got one person that can tell me that that's the mean. Thank you for your interaction. It was kind of mumbly though. I think you need to enunciate a little bit better. All right, now I want you to do the variance. Well, what do we need? Do we have f times x? Yes, we've got that. But what do we not have? Sorry. Huh? We don't have x squared. Thank you. I love it when students interact. Not sit there like one on log. Read the formula. Find what you need by looking at the formula. Oh, I also had a great idea. Since y'all were working hard on this project, this will take place of your in-class test. How about that? Is that good? You still have an online test, but that way we ain't got to worry about the crap of the in-class test. All right. So I'm going to go down here because I don't want to run into our calculations over here. And I'm going to go down here and I'm going to have another column and I'm going to call it x what? X squared. And that's equal to this number, quantity squared. And then I'm going to copy that down. I don't know how many. 1, 2, 3. Well, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is it 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Check my numbers. Make sure I didn't leave out any. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put F down here again because I just want them side by side. You don't have to do that. There's something that I want to do. And I can stand for something to be on one side, so I gotta fix that. It's a little quirk of mine. So here I'm going to have F times x squared. F times x squared. And there's your numbers. And what are we going to do with those numbers? What does it say do? Add them up. Summation. So here is my yellow column. And I'm doing these colors. I'm not doing them just to take up time. I'm doing them to try to help y'all out. Okay, so let me take my handy dandy yellow highlighter. And that is this right here. F times X is, well, I'm sorry, it's blue. I'm gonna have to use the other color. So if I use the other blue, it's gonna be too dark. So there's F times X right there. That's that one right there. I need to color it magenta. I suck. And we need F times X squared. So we're going to color that Tennessee orange. There's F times X squared. And we'll go ahead and make this whole thing. There we go. And we'll go over here. There's that. And, no, that's yellow. Okay, so it looks like to me we've got everything we need as far as calculating numbers. So let's put it in the formula. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put everything in its place. I'm not going to calculate it yet. So what is n? N is equal to 100. And I'm going to put it beside the summation of f times x squared minus the summation of f times x, which is this number right here. Oops, sorry. And then I'm going to put a square right here because we need to square it. Now I want you to look at the formula right here and look at this. Because you, as students, what do you have to remember to do? What to plug in, what? Where? And that's why you need to look at the formula. I get so many students that come up to me and say, what do I need to do with n? Well, look at the formula. You're not reading the formula. Look at the formula. It tells you where to plug in everything. And down here, we're going to have 100. No coughing compliant. Equals 100 minus what? So there's your formula right there. All right, start calculating. Do you need a calculator to do this first one? Sorry. I didn't know that was on. And I can't shut it off. Sorry. For those of you who don't know, that was Leonard Skinner. Sorry. Do you need a calculator to multiply 100 times 94 or 425? No, you do not. But I'm going to do it so if you calculate it. Minus. And what are we going to do with 2925? Raise it to the what? And what should you notice about these two numbers? Besides their BA numbers, what should you notice? First one has to be bigger than the what? Why? Because you can't take the square root of what? A negative number. And if this number is not bigger than this number, then you're going to have a problem. So let's highlight this one. Green. Green means what? Go. Good. And red means not so good. Meaning that that number right there needs to be smaller than this number. And if it's not, then you might as well start over because something's wrong. Okay, somebody put a calculator. What's 99 times 100? This is 6 cents for it. Variance equals, and we'll take this number and multiply by this number. And there's your BA number. Divided by this number. I'm trying to get all this where y'all can see it, so just bear with me a minute. To the 13th power. Okay, that's the BA number. Did I minus it or did I subtract it? Okay, thank you. I do something wrong, y'all interact. Good. That's all I got to do now. Just do something wrong every other problem. There we go. And variance is equal to this guy divided by this guy. I got 85.58. Now, as I've told you before, the variance really don't matter. But what do you need the variance for? And what is the standard deviation? The square root of the, yeah. Hold on, I'm trying to do something here. If it'll let me do it. Really? Hold on. There we go. Well, anyway, I'm trying to move it up so y'all can see it. So, and the standard deviation is equal to this number raised to the what? 0.5 power. Question. Is our numbers, are they that far off? Well, you've got a little bit of slop because look at the mean. The mean is 29 and the standard deviation is what? 9. So that means our numbers are going what? They're going all over the place. Is that going to happen with age groups? Yes. When will it not happen with age groups? If you do your survey to what? A class at Tri-County Tech. Why? Why won't the age be different? Because 80% of your people going to community colleges are right out of what? High school. So your data is going to be a little bit tighter. I made up these numbers, so that's why they're all over the place. But if you was to, what about, Ms. Mitchell, where are you doing your surveys?
I'm sorry?
Where are you doing your surveys?
I've done a restaurant, I've done a bar, I've done neighbors, and a couple of things.
That's neat. What restaurant did you do? Just curious.
El Herrero.
El Herrero.
Yeah. That was
You
scary.
got,
That
I
was
go to
scary.
El Herrero's a good bit.
That was scary.
Did you do it in the bar or did you do it in the
I
restaurant?
did the bar.
Did you?
Yeah, I did the
So you
bar.
know Buddy Bullock.
Yes, I do. I was stunned to find out about him too.
Find out about it. Oh, I didn't know that. He and I used to run around together.
Oh, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he is. He's a real good guy.
But when I approached Luis,
Yeah.
the owner, he
Uh-huh.
didn't want to do it.
Why not? When you go to Luis again, tell him that you will do it for some medicina. Tell him that. Because because that's what he calls me, Medicina. Because when I come in there, I want Medicina all the time, which is
Yeah.
tequila.
Yeah.
And I call it Medicina. And ever since I started doing that 2 or 3 years ago, whenever I walk in, they go, Medicina! So when you go in there, you tell him that Medicina said, do that survey.
Okay.
He'll know
Well,
exactly.
he did do it.
Oh, he did?
Reluctantly. I said, come on. I said, this should take 5 minutes to do.
Mhm.
He walked around the back room and this and that. That was a place where I was shocked at his own answers.
You thought they would be more conservative, or you thought they would be more
No,
liberal?
just, I didn't look at all of them, just some of them were,
Who did they say they'd go for?
I was more focused on the U.S. citizens and all this and that.
U.S. citizens.
Yeah, I said,
Oh, some of them wasn't U.S. citizens.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, well, I can tell you who they're going to vote for. They're going to vote for Hillary.
Well, it was like the INS was coming in.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, they probably did. Well, that's speaking of another thing. When you do hand these things out, you need to tell them it's for your class,
I did.
okay?
Yeah.
Because some of them might think that it's, you know, you be careful, okay? Somebody might try to fight you, you know?
I did tell them it was for your class too. It was written on the top there. I said, look,
Okay.
it's a legitimate thing. It's for math 120 of possibility.
But you need to tell him Medicina. Next time you go in
No,
there,
I didn't, yeah.
tell him Medicina. There's about 3 of them in there. The three guys that are waiters.
It was a different crowd. It was a different bartender this time, so.
Medicina. Make sure you say that next time you go in there. All right, I'm sorry. But anyway, is her data going to be more like this, or is it going to be more like your classroom? It's going to be more like this because of different ages. Will it lean more toward the older? Yes, because she's in a bar. Okay? You're not going to find many 17-year-olds in a bar. They shouldn't be. Okay? 18-year-olds, I don't have a problem with.
Some of the workers there too. Well, it's all family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I can't wait to see what you come up with.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get, well, most of those are going to fill out the Democratic, especially if they're not U.S. citizens. But the Republicans, I'd like to see what you come up with, because that's you're talking diverse, because a lot of people go to a restaurant. You're going to have more diversity in a restaurant than you would at the local hangout,
Yeah.
you know, a bar versus a restaurant. That's interesting. Anybody else got any examples? I know we already talked about yours. You were doing the nursing. So yours is going to be more female driven. Anybody else got where they're doing theirs? Yeah, y'all got to get them together. Y'all got to fill them out. All right, so what are we going to do with those 2 numbers? We're going to highlight this number. I'm running out of colors, y'all. Let's okay, that's the wrong thing. I want to highlight this number. We'll color it. Running out of colors. Well, you do a purple. How about that? All right, there's a purple. And where is our mean? I done lost my mean. Oh, there's the mean right there. We'll do the mean. I did it by hand. We'll do the mean in a fluorescent green thing over day. Okay? Now, what are we going to do with those 2 numbers? Did what? I heard. That's what I heard. I'm just letting y'all know what I hear up here. I heard. Enunciate. Loud. Do what? What'd you say, Miss Mitchell? Huh? Yes, what kind of graph? It's not a graph, it's a normal what? Distribution. So you take your numbers down here and we plug them in. Equals 29. And I rounded to 29. I did that because I don't like decimals, and I'll put the whole thing in here. 29 25, since I'm not doing it in my head, equals this number plus this number equals this number plus this number equals this number minus this number and equals this number minus this number. Hold on a minute. F24 minus this number. There. Now, based on your numbers, based on the numbers up here, the classes and the numbers, here is your normal distribution with 95% falling between the ages of 10 and what? 48. Now, how is this different from what you've grown up doing, the test scores? Well, this is frequency distribution. The test scores that you're used to doing are like this. 75, 80, 85, 90, 92, and 97. And find the mean there. It's equal to the summation of those numbers divided by what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Divided by 6. All right, now it's very important that you understand that. And then you got to figure the standard deviation for that. Okay? Because the other day, when we were having class, I asked a question on how do you find the standard deviation for a frequency distribution. And somebody said, well, you take the mean away from each one. See, people get them mixed up. This is how you find the mean and standard deviation of a frequency distribution. A table. Okay? This is how you find data-driven, which you're used to test scores. Okay? So you need to know the difference between the two, because that is where a lot of confusion comes from with students. Okay? Now, let's say that Miss Mitchell does her survey, and I'm going to go to another page now, and she finds out that, and I'm going to go to another page here so I can figure out where to go. And she finds out as a Republican side, and she does, let's say she does 100 people, and she finds out for Trump, I'm just going to go with the polls, okay? I think it's Trump, Cruz, Rubio, Carson, Carson, and I think Jeb comes in like 15th, and then Chris Christie, and then John Kasich, and then Carly Fiorina. That was wrong what they did to Carly. What'd they do to Carly? Anybody know? No. Carly in the Iowa caucus came in above Jeb Bush and Chris Christie and John Kasich. But they didn't let her in the debate last night. I thought that was wrong. So let's say that with all of her, she did 100 people, so let's say 75 were Republicans. Okay? I'm just using a number. I'm not saying there will be. Trump got 32%, or 32, not 32%. He got 32 votes. Cruz got 12. Rubio got 10. Somebody add these up for me. Let's see, 32, that's 44, that's 54. Gotta get a round number soon. Jeb got 6, that's 60. Carson got 10, that's 70. And then nobody likes Kasich, he's from Ohio, so he got 0. Chris Christie got, let's see, that's 32, that's 44, that's 50, 60, 70. 70. Fiorina got 5 votes, and Chris Christie got 0. Y'all add those up right quick, make sure I got 75. Now, in order for her to come up with, the relative frequency, what does she need to do? We went over this. 32 divided by 75 and multiply by 100. Somebody do that for me. What do you get? Multiply by 100. 42.6? 42.7. I would probably advise you to go with the 10th place, round to the 10th, because if you just round to the whole number, your numbers are not going to come out exactly right. You're going to come out with like 99% at the end, so try to at least go to the 10th. All right, 12 divided by 75, multiply by 100, what do you get? 16 even? And 10 divided by 15. 5 divided by, would be 2 over 3, which would be 0.67. That would be 60. No, that's not right. No, 10 divided by 75, not 15.
13.32.
Thank you. 13.3. 13.3. Somebody do 6 for me. And 5.
8.
8. And 5. 6.7. And these are percents. So, of course, you can see, and she can predict first, second, and third based on these numbers. And this is very entry-level statistics. We're not doing anything about reliability. We don't get into that until Chapter 6 and Chapter 7. But she can say that Trump is probably going to do good in South Carolina because he's basically beating everybody by 20 points or more, or 25 points or more. And she'll be saying, what else will she say? Well, it looks like to me that at least in Anderson, Rubio and Carson are going to be at a virtual tie. And these are just, this is a sample of Miss Mitchell's acquaintances and friends and work people and students. So it is a sample, small sample of Anderson County, small sample. Now, what we're going to do is when we get through, I'm going to take everybody's, that day is due, we're going to put all of them on the board and we're going to find out what all of your samples are telling us. And that's going to be interesting because that's going to be a big sample, because let's say that there's 25 people in here. Let's say that the average people team up 2 people per person. That's 12 different samples. You're talking at least, if each person does 100, that's 1,200 people. That's a pretty good sample. Okay? Okay, by y'all packing up and zipping up, let me see what time it is. What time's class over? 9:35 or 9:25? Well, I got 2 minutes, so I don't know why y'all packing up, but I guess y'all, being rude and everything, I guess that's okay. No, it's okay that y'all packed up. Let me go ahead and call the roll. If you have your registration and everything, don't forget to bring it in. And your ticket stubs for what you call it.